Shoprite, SA's largest employer, understands that keeping employees motivated goes beyond a salary. But when it comes to rewards, companies across South Africa face the same challenges. Introducing SA's lowest cost reward solution. Unlike traditional reward solutions, ours is completely free. We even give discounts on bulk rewards, so you can give your employees more than you're paying for. All you'll need to send rewards is a cell phone number. For instant rewards, our Money Market Account API allows you to integrate our voucher issuing capability directly into your company. And we'll support you every step of the way. Will your employees love it? Over 500,000 happy employees across all industries and job levels around the country have already received Shoprite Rewards vouchers. All they need to receive their voucher is a cell phone or their extra savings card. With over 1,800 stores and over 100,000 products to choose from, there's something for everyone. How about adding Connect airtime and data to your rewards basket so you can give your employees even more? If you're looking for an effortless and effective employee rewards partner, we've got what you're looking for. Be a part of the growing group of companies who've joined SA's lowest cost rewards partner at moneymarketaccount.co.za and give your people what they want.
As you know, I'm Henk, and I just want to introduce our two panelists here. First is Jean Olivier, and he is the General Manager of Financial Services Shoprite. Very important to us. And then Alwyn Dormehl from McRobert Attorneys. As I said to you earlier, when we got to that first bubble, remember the first bubble where the verification thing? What are we going to do? Alwyn and then step up to the plate, and that's been amazing. And when we got to the trust and transparency, came to see Charles. I was not quite sure. I was introduced to him through a family member, and arrived there. I said to Derek in the parking lot, I'm not quite sure why I am seeing Shoprite. It doesn't make sense. Now I walked in as well, and it was Matt as well with me here, sitting there, and I started doing my song and dance, and they like, poker face, sticky, Swanepoel wat nou. I get busy with NPO tech, like, why are you at Shoprite? And at the end, Jean looked at me and he said to me, man, you could tell a story about that night. Remember it? Tell them the story, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Henk. I actually know Henk's brother. So Henk's brother is the country manager for MasterCard. And MasterCard was my ex-employer as well. But as we grow out our financial services aspirations, we work quite closely with MasterCard. And Harwell said, listen, I think you need to meet my brother. They are busy with some really interesting stuff. And I think he shares your passion around financial inclusion and to make sure that money ultimately gets to people that deserve it. So for us, financial inclusion means something quite basic, putting people in the position to pay and to get paid. So there's a lot of other things that the financial inclusion could also be. But when we speak financial inclusion at Shoprite or at Shoprite Financial Services, it's primarily those two functions. And then when Henk showed me the level of transparency that they want to show the donors when people receive money and what they spend it on, we said, but I think we can help. I think that this is something that we can do, because during COVID, we received a lot of telephone calls from very generous donors wanting to pass on gift. First of all, everyone wanted to have these gift bags. And we realized, okay, cool, but with the COVID situation, it's kind of risky and the logistics is a bit of a pain. So we built a vouchering platform, actually over the Easter weekend of November, which will allow people to receive a voucher code on their phone, and then they can purchase in our stores. But then we went further on that to say, okay, cool, but how do we give the donor back visibility of what the recipient has bought without overstepping that line of confidentiality? Because you can show what a group of people bought, but I don't want to show you what you specifically bought, right? So, but you can show people how much of that spend is actually going towards the categories that it's intended for, versus how much of the spend is going to categories that's prohibited, like alcohol, cigarettes, betting, etc. And we've started offering that capability to a lot of corporates that gift employees for whether it's attendance or and then we really stumbled upon our engagements where we thought, wow, this is we could actually go a little bit further. That was quite cool.
Thank you. Now, Alwyn, over to you. Can you just, people have been asking me who is McRobert Attorneys. I know it's 1895 and that's all that we can say. So will you please just tell everybody who you are, what you do, all of that, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm like so. John McRobert, founded in 1896. We're turning 103 years old next year. I think we're a full services law firm. We've got offices in Cape Town, Durban, Johannesburg, with our head office in Victoria. I think I was in the regional meeting, Henk, when through one of our partners you were introduced to McRobert. And I think we found a kindred spirit in iZinga, and I think that's why we're continuing to partner with them. And one of the main reasons is, and I think that was a message today, is sustainability. McRobert doesn't believe in those once-off interactions. We believe in a sustainable, long-term, viable platform. And I think what you guys are trying to do here perfectly complements that with McRobert. And the other thing is we like helping because most of the time attorneys work on a sort of reactive basis. You never come to us with nice problems. And this assists us a little bit in maybe being a little bit proactive and strategically. We enjoy that. And then we've got a pro bono office. You all seen Kashifa. She heads up that office for us. Our trade is, compliance, governance, and so forth. So through that office, we can make a difference.
Thank you very much. Now, also from a corporate perspective, Jean, I'm going to ask you both the same question. Do you think that corporates do enough for the NPO sector? Do you think there's barriers? Because people, we've had, why I'm asking this question is we've had it a lot. People say, you're dealing with the corporate side, not the CSI side. And we go, yes, why do you go that way? I mean, I don't know. That's how we went in. So that's just a question like, apart from the corporates, how do you respond to that?
I think it's you're going to get a different answer, depends on who you ask. From my personal opinion is there's always more you can do. And it doesn't matter whether you enter the CSR side or whether you enter the corporate side. Humans stay human, right? Some humans want to help people and some humans is less likely to help people. Sorry. And I think, no, if I it wasn't like that. But I think there's a number of ways we can help. Right, and the CSI side, they may typically give you funding, etc. But through the commercial side, and this is what we appreciate from the partnership so much, is we wanted to help, but we even got to a point where I said there's a lot of stuff that we wanted to do, and then we realized it wasn't our role in the ecosystem to play that. So, for example, we wanted to build a donation site where people can go on and say, we want to donate, and if you don't have a recipient, people could register, and we do it randomly. However, as a retailer or as a corporate, it's a kind of fine line. You kind of need to know where your responsibility starts. So yes, do we have the ambition? Absolutely, yes. But that's what it makes it so great to work with guys like yourself, where we can enable you with funding, with tools, with systems, access to information, and so yeah, I think definitely people shouldn't just be restricted to the CSI departments. I think then you're probably leaving good time and money on the table.
Yeah, I think to add on, I think statistics, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but historically companies that get involved into their communities, invest, we look after our communities, which we are actively involved in, tends to be more sustainable. That's why there's long-term longevity with certain companies as well. I think there's two aspects as well to getting from a large corporate. The one is time. What time can McRobert Attorneys give? We can give legal services. It doesn't cost us anything. We can have Kashifa sit there and invest and help you with compliance. And then the second one is there's always the monetary donation, which we try to make. But I think there's more to be done by corporate South Africa, definitely. I think where hopefully government's not here, where they fail more, we need to step up. And it is a more sustainable solution when corporate South Africa gets involved. The more we can do, I think the better. And I think that the key here for us is all sustainability. What we need to do needs to be sustainable. It needs to be long term. It can't be I walk in, I give something and I walk out. There needs to be a proactiveness to how we engage with those.
Give you an idea as well. I'll be very grateful for McRobert for that. We had a couple of, when we were busy putting the due diligence together, suddenly it became, we have to check all the trustees and directors of different entities against the international databases. Otherwise, we get problems at the regulator in the UK. Yeah. Okay. Boom. How are we going to do that? It's very expensive. And you've seen that, how much it is to check each one of these. And immediately, McRobert's stepped up to the data and said, we will pick up that cost for you to do that. So, thank you. So now we are one of the only platforms that actually physically checks against all those databases so that we can have that, we can, with a clear conscience, go through. And also, another one for Jean and them, thank you so much. We had so much problems in the UK with bank accounts that we got the board actually gave permission that we can have our contract of Shoprite, that we can submit it to the bank, because they wanted to know where every penny is going, and do we have visibility on every penny that goes through Shoprite. So that's sort of the direction, the depth that we've got just to get to this point. We haven't even launched properly. I'm going to tell you, everybody's been asking me a lot about Shoprite and McRobert. Okay, so now you have the people here. So would you like to ask questions, and you can have it directly from them? There's one out of three. Because people are fascinated with our Shoprite and our McRobert.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I think my question is not specific to Shoprite or McRoberts, but specific to the corporate. I'm Smangele Soni, representing the Maths and Science Leadership Academy from Kimberley, with our managing director, and here I'm serving there as a director, so I have my foot in the corporate because I'm part-time in the MPO. The challenge that I've seen between the two sectors is that the corporate world in South Africa is really struggling. So because of the economy, we're losing jobs, and the first place they go to is the corporate social investments. That's where we cut first. How do we make sure that our NPOs are sustainable, reducing dependency on actual corporates, but also how do you create value to the corporates to make sure that we're not just receivers, but also we create social wealth for the corporates, because it's really a big struggle. The funds are limited, but there's needs in both sides.
I think that if I went to my take with this one, you need to look at your donor profile. If you're going to partner with McRobert, for instance, we're going to look at a mutual beneficial relationship. So what do? Assuming you do a lot of training and so forth. We might have a call center environment where we do certain things. So we're happy to invest in your, for instance, your training academy, if that training academy answers a question that we have on our side. Afterwards, employing some of those agents potentially in our debt collection or financial recovery position. So where there's a mutual benefit, it's going to be long-term viable. I think GWF is here, the Good Work Foundation. We actually do that with them at the moment as well. We pay for people to go through the academy. I don't know if sometimes we would absorb them, sometimes not. But there's a mutual beneficial relationship here. And I think it's tough and the money starts pinching, where the corporates can get a tangible benefit out of it, they will continue to partner.
Well, maybe if I can just add to agree. Corporates typically think about their stakeholders. So who's their stakeholders? Customers. Try and keep customers happy. try and keep your staff happy so that you don't use your best performing staff. Try and keep your investors happy, and ultimately be sustainable so that you can keep them happy next year as well. So when we look at opportunities, we look at opportunities, whether it's from a profits perspective or whether it's from a customer value proposition or a brand perspective, that our customers will like it, our staff will like it, our investors will like it. And that's usually where we try and find the win-win. Just writing a check, I think less and less corporates are open to that these days, just because everyone's is a bit tight. But we also realize we can't ignore the fact that we won't be sustainable, the country won't be sustainable if we all don't chip in and out. So
one thing that we also picked up the last couple of years, and also we're speaking to a lot of foundations and corporates. Derek and I decided we are speaking to everybody. You want to speak to us, we'll speak to you. So we kissed a lot of frogs, but there was a couple of these. No, we did feasible for us. Okay. But this thing that everybody like to say, that for all the MPOs here, if you want to deal with corporates or with foundations or with family offices, is you need to have your story straight, and you need to have trust and transparency. That is the two things. Resources are limited. People, the help is out there. Everybody wants to help, but they want to know where it's going. How are you doing that? You need to be transparent. That's really, that's what I'll say is the big thing. Have your nose clean. Otherwise, you're going to be sorry.
Thanks, Henk. Got a question. Hello, I'm Alwyn. Zach over here. I wanted to quickly ask, as we speak about trust quite often through the day, but what are some of the, if you're welcome to share, some of the acid tests or smell tests that reduce your anxiety when starting a partnership? What are the red flags that you see and you're like, look, like we had the example earlier from Jill that they didn't have a website, and so that was a red flag. What are some of the personal flags or smell tests or acid tests that you see and you're like, not even worth it because I know this is not going to work?
My personal favorite, that I may not say, where we sit in with, we chat to somebody, and especially in the UK, you feel a couple of things at the moment, and you say, and when you get 4 stars, we hand you over to Shoprite, we open a new bank account, and they go like pale. Then we know, okay, come, no can you put with those. And then they ask and they say, why do I have to open a new bank account? And I go, but how am I going to give trust and transparency if I can't see where the money is? Yes. Yeah, but we've got bank accounts. Yes, I know. But if you want money from my platform, it goes into a Shoprite account because we got visibility on it. We know where it goes. We know there can't be cash drawn out of it. There's all regulations, little bits and bobs that I have to take. And then they go, no, it's not going to work for them. The CFO won't allow. We just smiled. And then afterwards, I'll phone Joe. Joe go, oh, they're renowned for huge commissions on fundraising. And they're renowned for that. Well, my other favorite was very well-known MPO in Sandton, said to us when we said your financial statements, he said, no, they can't do they can't upload their financial statements. So we said, but why not? No, that's our secret source. I mean, oh, really? What another word thou for corruption is secret source. So you pick that red flags up just to answer you very good. We've been doing this grid and sorting it out. We pick it up so quickly now. If somebody is there or they get stuck at a certain point, then you know, okay, you're going to be not on up that. Like it's not going to.
Yeah, and I think to add to your question as well, as an attorney firm, we focus extensively on compliance. So when we onboard, whether it's from a CSI perspective or a normal corporate client, there's a process that we go through. We go through FICA documentation, copy requirements, letter of engagements. We can go on and on and on and on. And you pick up in those processes where somebody is hesitant to give you something. They're worried about disclosing shareholding, or they're worried about disclosing some sort of document that we need to make it compliant. And in that, Kashifo mentioned it earlier, in those red flag moments, you pick up something. But I want to flip it around as well to say, one of our hunting with Robert here, one of the reasons why we're successful is we truly believe in compliance. We go up and above. We do ISO verifications. We're busy with PCI verifications. There's so many verifications we go through. And instead of seeing compliance as a cost. We all talk about the cost of compliance. You spend 20% of your day just keeping out of trouble. See it rather as a differentiating factor. What is the benefit of compliance? And I think this is where iZinga comes in. When you engage with the donor, my POPI is in place, my PIA is in place, my RMCPs are in place, my NDAs are in place, and I've got social media policies in place. When we take picture, we don't post children, for instance, all those little nuances. And it becomes a setting exercise as well. So you got to change your mind from the cost of compliance to the benefit of compliance.
Maybe if I can just add 2 points. So, am I going to qualify or disqualify someone if they've got a website? Absolutely not. I've actually seen some of the best, whether it's businesses or tech entrepreneurs or MPOs, that's so full of passion, that is so in it for the cause, that they honestly just haven't come to a website yet. But they do a fantastic job. And it's so, and those ones you don't want to miss either. So is it good to have a good public image? Absolutely. Does it help to have a proper public image with testimonials, all of those things? Yes, people really find comfort in that. So that's the first thing. The second thing for me is you quickly realize how quickly people start changing it from the purpose into money. Then for me, that's usually a bit of a red flag as well. Because I thought we were all here for the purpose. Yeah. And the money will get us to the purpose. And then thirdly, and I think you mentioned it well, it's this whole thing around compliance. Back in the day, we gave people that needed funds cash, and there wasn't audit trails on that. Then after that, some people got gift cards, and maybe there was audit trails around that or not. But as technology and advances, it leaves a very, very, very strong trail of exactly who does what, where, and when, so that there's no guesswork. You can actually measure it in real-time dashboards. You can say exactly what store, what time, what till, etc. they buy which items. And that's why when we spoke to Henk and Derek, it said, we can offer you a lot of things. But the ones we feel most comfortable with is the ones with the strongest audit trail behind it. Because if there's something goes wrong with compliance, or if there's someone's got a question, then you can be transparent. And that was what I really liked about the iZinga value proposition, is the total transparency. And that's why we're very committed and involved.
That's very important. Jill, thank you again for that. This morning when I spoke and I said that we didn't know, our big problem was how do we restore the trust and transparency between the European donor and because as you all know, it's state capturing all the nasty hojas. And the only way to do that is to be able to track every pin. Yeah. If you can't do that, we bear the water. And that's why we're very grateful for that.
Maybe just another point to add. If you put yourself in a corporate shoes, then you've typically got quite a lot of staff and you've got a lot of people to look after. Yeah. And you only had one brand. And we don't like gambling with brands, right?
Not at all. You get what? Just go straight for.
I could have said, and one or two cases that you or customers that you didn't treat the way that your brand promises there, then your brand uses serious damage. So for us, it was a big decision. Do we even entertain or do we get part of this? Because our role in the society is food security and making sure that people get access to affordable fruit. And we've grown it out into financial services. So when corporates get involved, make sure that, and when you want to get corporates involved, make sure that they realize that you will respect their brands the same way as what they respect their brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Your brand is everything. That's why it needs to be sustainable. Well, we've had a situation where we walked away from partnerships. We felt it wasn't complementary to our values. Now they fall into your value system, your ecosystem that makes you sustainable. And it doesn't go into that. You need to walk away. We've had scenarios where we've asked people to take our testimonials down from the websites. This is not who we are. It's few and far between. But again, to your point as well, if you partner, go look at who you want to partner with and actually complementary to those brands as well.
Also an interesting one, it opens up new possibilities. One of the things that we've sort of discussed like down the line. Say for instance, there's a big problem in KwaZulu-Natal that is flooding, okay, and everything is electricity off. Utilizing Shoprite's voucher system, and they can donate for our platform, we can literally get vouchers to those people without them even just on their phones to go and get relief from Shoprite stores immediately. So we can, because we've integrated and we've got a platform, it's all digital, there's a lot of options. We've spoken about possibilities, but we will have another conference and then we'll say the next steps. Can we just get more first? One thing at a time.
Henk, sorry, you got a question, Chris?
Okay, so John, this is for you. And maybe, Henk, you've now said what you wanted to say, but practically, I've got some of the answers, but maybe for the audience, if the money flows into the Shoprite money market account, like how do we have access to that money? And because it can't just be transferred to your bank account. So yeah, maybe just want to answer that.
Okay, cool. So how we typically set it up, we're always flexible to a degree as long as the system can cater for it, because we don't do anything manual on that platform. So typically we set up a account for a specific reason, let's say for an NGO. That money goes into a holding account. That money then depends on you, who you distribute that to. In order to distribute to a person, we need their mobile number. We need to know how much you would want to distribute. All of the communications and stuff will be under your brand, so that they can know it's not some other, you've won the Nigerian lottery or something. You actually, the person knows that then why they've received the money, SMSs educating them of exactly how to use it. If we then see people haven't used the account, we remind them and we'll call them to make sure that people use the money. There's no, our business model is not there to have money in accounts. That's not, we wanted to disperse it and people need to use it. You as an MPO, then on your, every single one of your accounts is tagged to the holding account. You've got a dashboard to see exactly who's used, who hasn't used, how much they've used. You can set up rules in terms of certain categories being compliant versus non-compliant. So you've got full control. And then the next time you want to disperse, quite often we see people that has transacted or on liquor or cigarettes. The MPO would say, if you called an extra out of disbursements, we don't disperse to those people. Or you can, even through the platform, you can send in notifications to say, hang on, the funds was intended for baby food, or the funds was intended for food, and you've used it for electricity or airtime. It wasn't the purpose of it. Don't do that again.
You've got an app as well. You want to tell them about the app on the phone.
Yeah, so from a consumer's perspective, from a recipient's perspective, so do you need to have an account before you receive money? No. The pure fact that the money gets dispersed to you, that money then gets tied to your mobile number, and that money will wait for you until you just log in and choose, we ask name, surname, ID number, and we ask you to choose a password. And the reason for that is if your mobile number changes, your money is not lost. So we may want to make sure that your money always stays or against the beneficiary. So then that beneficiary can either link the extra savings card to their accounts and use their extra savings card to transact. So it's you swipe and enter the PIN like a bank card, or you can use your mobile app to transact. There's a website and there's a WhatsApp channel. And if you get stuck, you can just go to any of the money markets in front of our stores. Those cashiers will be able to help you.
So it operates like a normal bank account.
Your beneficiary is a donkey.
Doesn't.
Only a happy smile.
But hopefully someone feeds that donkey. And and then we'll elect that person so that we can buy the donkey some lettuce.
Look, when you spend your money, or you can do whatever you want with the cash, with the money in your account. You can spend it on electricity, on airtime, on buying toothpaste for the donkey. The whole thing is, we just need to know where that money is going. And it's just that you could spend it on whatever you want. I just need to track the money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, can I just say that when a donor gives you money specifically for, you ask for bicycles for the kids to ride from school, you need to buy the bicycles. Because if you go back and say, I bought head time, but wait a minute, I thought you were buying bicycles. But I mean, that's up to you. We're not going to be able to.
Yeah, we're not going to, with this specific thing, say, Meneer Kuruman wants to buy a new troughs for the donkeys. That's going to be, in about a couple of months, we'll be able to load those campaigns. We are developing that on the platform, that you can say, I need a new car or bicycles. And we will speak to Shoprite and say, can they maybe do the deal on bicycles for the APO? And then we'll load that. People can donate for that specific project as well. But that's only going to be early next year. So that's coming. But at the moment, they can just give, and I just want to track the money. Let's just do that.
Maybe a last point just on that. Sorry. Just remember, we kind of came into this by accident. But we were designing for something else, and then we met Henk and Derek, and we said, okay, cool, we can help. And as we know and understand this market further, we'll obviously evolve our tech. We are not MBA experts, and I don't think anyone in our business would be able to call themselves an MBA expert. But over time, we'll learn more and we'll make our systems relevant. As long as you guys communicate and help us learn, then, yeah.
That's the big thing, is please give us feedback. So just a second, Derek, from the beginning, we've been telling everybody, we are doing the world's first thing here. I mean, it's so simple. Donate, track, and give reporting. I mean, it's so simple. It's nowhere in the world being done before. So we are really literally making it up as we go. We need input from all of you. If you pick something up, if you have a suggestion, please email Derek, myself, anybody of the team. And we will deal with Shoprite and McRobert and all of our partners to say, let's fix this. So the feedback is going to be crucial for us to grow.
Okay, Margaret and Alicia from Miklat in Liparo. Okay, we have a question. With this system, can we pay our staff, considering that 70% of our costs are staff?
Yeah, only if you pay them in hay, of course.
Yeah, we were thinking, like bonus, like December bonus, can we, for instance, use this vouchers for bonuses?
Absolutely. So we actually do. That's how a big part of the system actually started. So we see over December, pretty much from now till mid-January, we see corporates gift vouchers, whether it's for Christmas or whether it's back to school vouchers. People are very, very, very generous over this time of year. So absolutely you can. Can you pay your staff so that they can withdraw cash? Yes, they can as well. There's two separate accounts. The one that we use for, let's say for the gifting and for the MPOs, we suggest, and once again, it's your choice, you use a closed loop system so that you can have full visibility, because as soon as people withdraw the money, we also don't have visibility at that point. So we can, so on the closed loop system where you can't withdraw the money, but you can buy products and services, we can give you literally till the final product, we can give you that visibility. But for your staff, absolutely yes. You can grab me afterwards. Or I can get their numbers. We'll set you guys up for that. It's a very easy. It's a free account there. Your staff don't pay any. There's no bank charges or most stuff on the account. Sorry, yeah, and their money is safe.
Just by the way, there's going to be Tracy's not here to say that. It's going to be the cheapest bank account for an APO in South.
So can I just add to that a real world scenario, right? Say, let's use the mother's mentors as an example, right? So my concern actually, as I'm paying now the mentor, but now I'm almost forcing her to expose what would have been her private salary, how she's spending it.
No. You are the MPO. What you pay that person, I don't see what she does with her money. It's really for her. She's the beneficiary. Nobody has asked us so far to go to the end, say the staff members. My journey stops at the MPO. I give you the £100, and I would sort of see how you spend it. I don't go and check what they do with it. No, that's yeah.
Yeah, so on that mother as an example, right? So we don't track the spend that's on the bank account. So we offer a free bank account, and that's cool. So she didn't get their salary. If you want, then she can elect another account. However, let's say you wanted the mother to buy nappies or baby food or something on the MPO's behalf, that you can track. They say, once again, you guys can set the rules. This is a tech platform that gives you visibility and traceability, and you can choose and agree with the staff of what you want to track or what you want to trace or not. We will just honor that wish.
Thank you.
The big thing is we just need to track it, and it can't be cash. That's basically it. The rest is all in the ecosystem between us and you and Shoprite.
Hi, I think you may have answered my question. Is it possible for once the beneficiary receives the cash or the voucher to be able to then pass it on to somebody else? Example, like the staff member. They receive it in Johannesburg. They decide, actually, I want to send this money or this voucher to my family in Duba, and they can forward it on.
Absolutely. So we've got both in cash. So the currency stays in its true form. So let's say if you receive cash into the bank account, it will stay cash. So you can transfer it from one account to another account, and that will stay cash. If you've received it in the form of a voucher, it will stay in the form of a voucher. Vouchers can never go into cash from a compliance perspective, because otherwise you're deposit taking, and there's I'm pretty sure we can keep each other busy for a long time. But however, yes, it's free and it's instant. If it wasn't popular, I would have asked you for your telephone number and I would have sent you a voucher right now. But I'll tell you afterwards, so they knew we don't overstep the compliance.
One last question to add to that. Is it purely Shoprite or is it the Shoprite group? Is it a checker? Is all of them? Okay, awesome.
Shoprite checkers, YouSave, and we're also rolling this out into our OK stores over the next year or so.
I think just maybe one thing you need to be careful of, maybe paying bonuses or salaries via the system, is the PAYE, payroll implications and all that sort of stuff. I know it's not iZinga's problem, but it's you as an MBO's problem to make sure if they are over certain thresholds, have you paid UIF and all that sort of stuff. So just be quite careful of that as well. I wouldn't recommend it personally.
Are you listening? Free legal advice. I just want to make it very clear. Remember, when you get 4 stars on our platform, that's when the platform triggers you to open the Shoprite account. We open 2 accounts for you at Shoprite. The one is the voucher account and the one is the money market account. Okay, at the same time. Because the donor in the UK can decide if they want to give a voucher. And as John said, the voucher, when it starts as a voucher in London, it ends as a voucher in South Africa. It can never become money. Okay. Just remember that. There's 2 different routes that we've designed in the way that it can come in. So just remember that, to never swap. If the donor decides they're uncomfortable to give you pounds, they're going to give you a voucher, the voucher will land to you. Okay. We have to give the donor that option because of where we stand at the moment with everything.
Thank you. You have a question here?
Hi there, Julia Phipps from the Tandawazi Maths and Science Academy in Johannesburg. So on the money account that you're speaking about, would you be able to pay suppliers? For example, we buy textbooks and we buy food and other things. Are you able to pay your suppliers from that money account?
So yes, we just need to pick which suppliers. But yes, on the cash accounts, yes, you will be able to. On the voucher account, depends on which suppliers, and we'll just make sure that we load those suppliers. So, like for example, textbooks or books or stationery, I promise you, I think we'll probably give you a better price than what you get elsewhere. But with textbooks, we don't do that. So we will need to find you a solution for that.
But just please speak to us. Like there's nothing is a problem. Just communicate. Okay, remember we're in baby steps here. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Natalie Moller from the Upliftment Program. I think a big thing that this is leading to is that not only the supply of money and the vouchers from Shoprite, but essentially an opportunity for all the MPOs to create the big ask. My experience in working with a number of MPOs, my sister's one, and some of my other clients and friends, is that we're very good at doing the work at grassroots level, but we don't know how to ask exactly what we need. And I think where the platform could assist is often, hi, our computer recently broke and we're needing a computer. Often people are going, well, I've just upgraded and our computer's still brand new, but here's a computer. So it could create a space where we're actually openly asking for the big ask, not necessarily just money.
Sure. Look, 100%. I mean, a lot of donors are quite happy to give you, you ask for a computer, they'll give you the computer rather than the money for the computer. So 100%.
Thanks. We have a question up here.
Hi, Louise from Nature Connect. Just on the service providers, so in the conservation sector specifically, there's a lot of specialized equipment that we might be applying for that isn't necessarily in any of the stores, whichever one it might be. And then like things like transport as well is a big thing that we all work with, I think. But like specialized stuff like camera traps for the fouts or water monitoring kits, that's very specific and specialized. And I would imagine the medical NGOs would have very specialized things. I think that area is something that we need to look at because it's going to make it very difficult to pay providers otherwise or use our funds.
Yeah, so on the medical stuff, it's for us, it's a little bit easier because we've got in the group, we've got a company called Charles Fogg and we are in Medira, so we can probably cover some of that. I agree with you on the other side. It's probably something that we haven't thought about of, and it's something that's not directly in our ecosystem. It's once we know what you guys need, we will make sure that we can move the money to in a compliant way.
It's a definite. We can help. Just take touch. That's it. Just speak. Give us the information, and we will make a plan. If we can't, we'll make another plan. But
can help him in natural.
yeah, those are the best.
But and also, to Henk's point, let's say you've got a specific supplier. We'll just arrange that supplier as a bill payment, and then you can pay them. Remember, because of what the only role we actually play is just providing you a audit trail of where the funds went. And some of the funds will be used in our ecosystem, but we're not going to say you can only use it in our ecosystem. The rest of the stuff we'll try and accommodate it. Yeah.
And then the tentacles up. Thank you.
Any other questions?
So I'm staying real world. I'm staying real world because I know I'm speaking on behalf of many of us, right? I'm still with the mothers and I'm like, real world, most of us are paying people, right? And so if operations is 20%, 15%, I'm still going to need the 15%. So my question is, there's the certain amount that I can actually use in the field, but then I'm going to need to transfer it into my account some way so that I can pay and still do PAYE.
Unfortunately, you cannot do that. Because then they are going to close us down in the UK. If that money needs to be spent out of that account, you can never, ever transfer it into your MPO account. Never. Not going to happen because then we lose all traceability on it. Then it's a game over.
Yep.
Not going to happen. And it takes, I also, Shoprite, Jean, I want to take for somebody to open a Shoprite account.
Takes you about 90 seconds.
90 seconds. Okay, so no, and you just need a cell number and a ID number. So no reason, but just never, just as a very full to the question, no circumstances ever can you put the money from what we bring in from your Shoprite MPO account into your own MPO account, because that moment we lose visibility, we indeed drop.
So real world, those salaried people become beneficiaries.
Yes, yeah, it takes 90 seconds for them and you can pay them.
And then we just need to have our proper paper trail of our PAYE.
It's not difficult.
These are artists, cunt. Super.
Just to say, we are not here to run the ONGO.
Yes.
All right. If anything, anybody else?
Yes, my question is for Jean. Sorry, I'm Jem Thompson from Good Work Foundation. So will you have like a fund manager or someone who then helps you allocate that money and make the purchase or whatever it is? So each nonprofit you work with will have like an account manager or whatever, for want of a better word, that will then help you allocate that fund or spend that money in that money market account.
Yeah. Okay. So what we've got account managers. What you also see at let's say the first month, it feels like a more hands-on approach. Thereafter, we can either give you a load API or a Dash interface, and you can literally allocate the money to the beneficiaries yourself. We typically help you for the first month just to make sure that everyone that receives the money knows how to work the stuff, and once you guys are comfortable, you can pretty much do it yourself.
Sorry, can you give a real life example of how you're doing that right now with a corporate or with somebody else?
Yeah, for example, Ocean Basket, right? Quite often in the weekdays, the restaurants are not that busy, and they gift the waiters additional like a voucher, food voucher. Distel, for example, they used to you'd be able to go to a Distel or Stellenbosch Farmers and stuff to get part of your employee benefits was to get some of the liquor that caused a bigger logistical concern. So what we said, okay, just do the disbursements to all of your from exec level all the way down to the grassroots, and people can just walk into any Shoprite, Checkers, or liquor store and just kind of pick the liquor from a shop, the shops. Nando's, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies that are on a daily basis, and all of those started, what you call it, manually, but all of those are fully automated. We don't, they get a reminder when their funds are running low, so they know when they need to top up, and the rest runs all automatically. There was another example in COVID. The government was struggling to get people older than, I think it was 50, to get their second COVID shot or the flu jab. And the government approached us to say, listen, can we not incentivize? I said, well, I don't know how to, but if you guys want to do something, sure, we can make a plan. And they said, no, they want to give everyone a 200 Rand voucher once they've received their second flu shot. So we integrated into the national health system. As soon as you got that an SMS to say, I can call you now, registered your second flu shot. Oh, yeah. You got a second SMS to say you've done a Shoprite food voucher. Yeah. So all of that, if the government can automate it, I can show you how.
That's a person.
Another question there?
Thanks. I'm Noreen Klatsky from the Service Dining Rooms. I just want to double check. So can you use this account to pay your municipal water for your building, SARS directly for your tax, the UIF, and all these other things that we have as overheads for our organization? And then just a quick one. I hope you're not supporting the DOP system through the system.
We're definitely not supporting the DOP system, that's for sure. On your first question, yes. If you go to our money markets today in store, you can pay for electricity, you can pay all of your municipal bills, etc. SARS, I'm not sure. I need to check it. I actually don't think so. And if that's a requirement, it's SARS will be open just to get payments. We should probably accept the payments in our stores regardless. So I'm going to take that one as a bit of free advice. But yeah, so most of the stuff, if you think about from insurances, you can pay debt repayments, municipality bills, traffic fine, all of those things. There's about 800 and odd different type of billers you could pay in the front of our stores. So we should be covering majority of those.
Hi, I'm Lizelle Coombs from Angels Resource Centers. So we don't get donations and funds like that. So we sell a service. But what we do have is a whole lot of hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs all across rural South Africa. And we have to buy stuff for them all the time with grant funds that must go towards them. So would we be able to, because that's one of our big problems is the guys want to buy stuff for their little shops that we work with entrepreneurs only. So now they need goods like they have a spaza shop or they maybe have whatever their business is, a hairdresser or construction company. So now at the moment we buy things for them in Cape Town, Joburg, and then we courier it to them or we use Take-A-Lot, and we just think maybe could we put money into the money market account and open an account for each of our entrepreneurs, and they can just go to USafe, because there's usually not a Shoprite or a Checkers, but there's inevitably a USafe close by, or actually, a vicinity that's closer than shipping in from Cape Town or Joburg. We also do work in Kuruman. For example, Pofadder, Garipen Sonnewater, we definitely do work there. Places like that, there's somewhere a USafe. Absolutely. So is that something, can we put money into those accounts? Yes. Okay.
That is probably one of the easiest user journeys with the part.
And can we open the accounts for them, or do they need to open it? Is it on an app or?
So the mere fact that you are pushing money to that mobile, as long as you know the beneficiary's mobile number, telephone number, the fact that, let's say you give them 1,000 rand, right? So 1,000 rand will then go onto SMS on their phone. It's not one of those that you can lose. That money is there. As soon as they then open the app and just register, that money gets allocated automatically. So if they lose it's not like the old school, if someone sends you a voucher code. Now you lose the SMS, or if someone deleted the SMS, the money is gone. It doesn't work like that. That money stays there and waits until you register and goes automatically into your account.
Sorry, just the last one. Sometimes we very seldom actually want them to have cash, because they're supposed to buy stationery, but necessarily ends up being a bottle of wine. So we need to kind of be able to say, can we put something in? Is there like a trolley? Almost like shopping online, like you do Take-A-Lot or something.
So the voucher will avoid them withdrawing cash. And the second thing that this won't necessarily help you on that specific example, but it won't help other people. So the money market account's getting integrated into 6060 also later this month. So let's call it worst case. Next month you'll be able to pay with that on 6060 as well. You'll also be able to pay with that on our cash and carry stores or any of our wholesale stores.
Thank you. We've got another question here.
Afternoon, I'm Deborah Van Dongen from Hearts of Hope Children's Home in Johannesburg. So just two questions. Where does the donor information reside? As beneficiaries, do we get to know who the donor is? And secondly, from a SARS point of view, I'm assuming South Africans can also donate. If the donor wants a Section 18A, who does that? Do we do it as the beneficiary? You're, from what I understand, not the beneficiary or the broker. So I just want to get the SARS Section 18A compliance and where the donor information is. Thank you.
Ricardo, do you want to take that second one?
So the last question about the 18A. As iZinga Assist, we're in the process of sorting out our 18A. Now, keep in mind the 18A is only applicable to local donations. That's the one requirement. The second requirement is that the recipients or the activities must be in South Africa, right? So we've got that distinction in terms of the organizations on the platform that are 18A and that are not 18A. So, in terms of that particular requirement, once that is in place, iZinga would be able to assist. It's further down the line, but would be able to specifically manage that process.
Donor information.
Yeah. Yes. So look, you'll see there's reference to the iZinga Assist family. It refers to a group of companies. So there's the NPC locally, the non-profit company that's been incorporated. But it's also part of the IZ UK-based company or companies, which would actually do the fundraising on the side of the UK. So in terms of the donor in South Africa, that is actually the NPC, not the donor in the UK. Even though, the funds are aimed at the beneficiaries in South Africa, but iZinga Assist NPC would operate as what's called a conduit facility, in that context. So, of course, in terms of collecting the information, personal information relating to the question earlier, personal information from donors in the UK are subject to the GDPR regulations. So even in terms of our agreement with the donors, it's subject to those restrictions. Henk, is that an acceptable question? Thank you very much.
So basically, we're a registered UK entity, the CIO, Community Interest Organization, and the donor information stays with us. We can only give it. We are going to ask one of the things that Derek has been asking quite a bit. We are asking the donors, would you like to share your information with the MPO in South Africa? If they say no, we keep it. If they say yes, we'll pass it on. The donor has the choice. Okay. Does it answer your question?
Yes.
All right. I think we brought the last question.
Hi, I'm Ronita from St. Luke's Hospice. So I have two questions, and excuse my lack of understanding of the way this whole works. So is it a kind of FSP, financial service provider? And potentially, if there's cash put into the money market, would it attract interest? And then the second question is, we have a donor from the US who we potentially want to look at this as a platform. Could we get the donor to put the money into the money market? And how would the forex exchange work? Thanks.
Okay, cool. So, first, it is a FSD. Excuse me. So, both Shoprite Financial Services and my Shoprite Checkers is a registered FSP. So that's fine. The second piece is, can the UN or the UK or the US put money directly into the funds? Yes, we will display the funds. Whatever clears into our South African bank account will be reflected into your account. But I can get our Treasury Department also just to help if that might help. Your third question was?
Yeah.
The interest. No. So, and I'm going to tell you why there's no interest, right? So if you look, so this product was designed for the end consumer. So if you look at and with financial inclusion in mind, if you look at 90+% of the end consumers, they pay more bank charges than they earn interest.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we surveyed our customers and said, what is one of the things that you would change in our banking if you could? They said, if I put 100 Rand into the account, I wish it could stay 100 Rand. And we said, cool, let's do that. I'll give you charge 0 deposit fees, 0 monthly fees, 0 account fees, etc. We've got one single charge, is where you do a cash withdrawal, there's a 5 Rand charge. But with person-to-person transactions, when you buy electricity, all of those, there's 0 fees on that. So, and that's the reason why we don't pay interest. We basically take the interest components and we subsidize it with the transaction fees. But at the end, the typical customer we serve wins.
That's one of the reasons why it was so attractive for us. Where the money stays there, there's no frills and it's traceable. Well, that's the end of No, you can't ask a question.
Hi, I just want to, I think, make a point.
Okay.
This money market account with Shoprite is specific to iZinga. So your donor, if you were saying, so your US donor, they will have to use a different, your normal MPO banking account. They won't be able to use the Shoprite money market accounts because this specific account is utilized in order to come from an iZinga donor and check the usage of it. So I think that point needs to be clarified, and just make sure that yes, you're getting the service from Shoprite as fantastic, but you can't use it for your other MPO. Yes. The money will come from an iZinga donor because that's the journey. We are connecting donors from the UK and all of that to South African NPOs.